Martin.
Wonderful to see you. Welcome to the Phantasmagorium, both you, Audrey, and Glenn. Pleasure having you here.
Oh, well, we're so excited. We can't wait to come in and see what you have inside here for us.
I have all that is fantastic for you to see and to be with.
Oh, wow. This is amazing, Martin. What a joy, I must say, to be here today at the Phantasmagorium. Describe that picture in front of you.
This painting was done after the one that is behind me in the dining area, which is called Portrait of a Dining Area Representing Three Generations. This was started in 1963 and completed in 1967. The various figures, the various animals represent people in my life. The lion is my father. The boar is actually my mentor, La Empress Sphinx. The tiger is a friend I had. Now I don't even remember his name, but the deer represents a very close friend I had. His name was Dick Crimmings. The alligator under my feet represents my wife. The ibis towards the right of the Orpheus represents my godmother, Aunt Clara. The bird represents my mother. The butterfly, my favorite cousin, my cousin Florence. And so it goes. And what Orpheus does in the forest with his music, he tames the wild beasts of the forest. So in other words, I tame the wildness, the passions of those in my life and have them all at peace and harmony and in serenity. The snake represents the snake that eventually bites the heel of Eurydice, sending her to the underworld, Hades. In other words, the snake actually is one of the pet pythons of Apollo. He has two of them, and he sends one of them down to kill Eurydice because he wants his son to be free to sing songs at the Hyacinthia, which is the celebration of his loss of Hyacinthus, and so that the men won't be making out with the Bacchantes who are on that island. This painting is of the death of Hyacinthus, and he's killed in a jealous frenzy by Apollo because he was upset with the liaison that Hyacinthus had with Zephyr, the god of the west winds. I acknowledge it as a breakthrough painting, probably every bit as important in my life as an artist as was Les Demoiselles d'Avignon in the life of Picasso. It's a breakthrough painting, and even probably more important than the Orpheus in a forest. The portrait of a dining area, which is behind me in the dining area, and Orpheus in the forest, and Apollo and Hyacinthus together, are three masterpieces done pretty much within that same time slot. They were all done within the 1960s. And the thing about them is that they are three masterpieces from that particular period, and they really practically tell completely what the artist was all about in that era. But of all the paintings, that is the most exemplary and most exceptional, although it's fairly simple, is the Apollo Hyacinthus. That's the star painting of these three masterpieces. This portrait of a dining room represents three generations. The crystal wine decanter and the brandy glasses that are on either side of it and so forth are part of my grandparents' household. Then there are things that were part of my mother's household, like for mother and father, I should say, like the dinner plates, the service, the cutlery, and so on and so forth. And then there are a few things, a bell, a couple of things like that, that were given as gifts. Definitely the teacups, the Japanese teacups, which were given by my cousin Florence. So in other words, it's three generations who have contributed to the setting that you see on the dining table next to it. But this is work that I think of the two galleries that would be most proficient in handling it would be Christie's and Sotheby's. Second to that would be the Payne Wildenstein. There are a few that would be, what shall I say, in the position to handle this kind of art, the scope and the message of it. And after it's handled by those galleries, its next step is in a museum. To the left, there is a plaque done in calligraphy. The calligraphy is mine, and the poem is that of what my mother had to say when the thing was finally installed, framed, and ready for its home. And it's been there on the wall since 1963. If you want to, you can go over and read the poem that my mother wrote, which is on the door.
Hi, this is Audrey Johnson, and as many of you have been enjoying Martin Leff and the Phantasmagorium, I'm about to read a poem which was written by his mother Ruth Leff in 1963, and Martin has engraved it right here. It goes like this: My son, the artist, this house is short of dining space. But since there is an artist in the place, we ask him to extend the table, at least as far as he was able. He couldn't help very much at all. So then he drew one on the wall. If there's no place to put your chair, just bring it to the canvas there. Wow. That is beautiful, because being here in this home, in this Phantasmagorium by Martin and his parents, this has been around for a long time, as we heard. What an honor to be here. We're very blessed to be able to be part of history.
Pistol Penis was done about 1985, somewhere in the middle 80s. And it was done in a period of career crisis and hence Great Depression. But for some reason or other, the brush never ceased to strike the canvas, and so it was completed along with other pieces. But it's exemplary of that period, as I was beginning to assert a high level of prurience and or sexuality in my artwork. Now let's go to the painting to the left. That was done in 2008 when I had a resurgence of working with what I call the Picassonian manner. It's a still life based on one of his still lives, but it is done freshly and new, and it is mine in the manner of Pablo Picasso. The painting to the right is called Portrait of God. And where the nipples are, you see eyes. The belly button is represented by a nose, and the mouth area by the genitalia of it. Here we still see a little bit of the Picassonian technique, but we see something that is distinctly Martin H.H. Leff-Cinthus and not Picasso or any other artist that ever was. That also going to say of Pistol Penis, although different in style because there quite a lot of years went by. This was all the Portrait of God was already done in the 21st century, and we are the last quarter of the 20th century with Pistol Penis. That painting is called Les Hommes d'Algiers, and it's a sequel to Pablo Picasso's Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. The Demoiselles d'Avignon was of the sex workers in the brothel, the Avignon, in Paris, France. The portrait of the three men, Les Hommes d'Algiers, are three sex workers of Algiers, and it represents late 19th century, early 20th century, where that was a spa for people like André Gide, Oscar Wilde, and other men who were gay to have a chance just to play around sexually with other men. And it's going to be in a exhibit which I hope to have called If Picasso Were Gay. So we will have Les Hommes d'Algiers and a very fine print of the Demoiselles d'Avignon so that you see them as sequels.